Hi everyone, thanks for stopping by. I am Wendy, and today I want to go over something that was added to the Creative 8 software back when it was my Sonnet. So the Premiere Plus, the Premiere Plus 2 Ultra, those versions of the software will not have that, and it is name changer. This was new to the My Sonnet, which is now Creative 8 software. And what name changer does is it lets you create a design, add text, and without having to redo the design each time, change your text so you can create multiple versions of the design with your varying words. The designs are then exported as individual embroideries. You can use names, phrases, or numbers. The choice is completely up to you. So I was thinking today, because I travel a lot and so does my whole entire team, the whole education team, we travel a lot. So I was going to work on some luggage tags, which will be kind of fun. So we could switch it up with different phrases and all that. And what's going to happen is all of these different phrases, we'll create them. I'll export it and send it out so that maybe I could get multiple in one hooping instead of going back and creating all of these each individual phrases. So let's go ahead. I'm going to pop over now to my screen here so that I can share the software. I already opened the Creative 8 software, and I'm at the landing page, the home page, maybe the landing page. And everyone is going to have the option for blank canvas. All of the rest of the options is going to be slightly different depending on what version of the Creative 8 software you have. Well, let's go ahead and let's click on blank canvas. And what's going to come up first is a hoop selection. And this isn't the end all be all for hoop selections. You can go ahead and change your hoop at any point when you're working in the software. This is just a jumping off point. And you can see that it remembered the last hoop that I chose. And that's a good thing, because what if that is a common hoop I use a lot? You know, it's nice that it remembers that. So when we come here, we do have our hoop group, and we do have other machines represented besides Husqvarna Viking, PFAFF, and Singer. We also have some Brother. We have some Baby Lock. I think there's Janome, Bernina. So even if you don't own one of the Husqvarna Viking, Singer, or PFAFF machines, you can still utilize this software. So what's different about choosing your specific brand and make, model machine is if I were to choose I'm just choosing the Epic 2 because, it's there. It shows here the connection of how that hoop is going to be connected to your machine. For some individuals, that is important to them to see that visual. So let's go ahead and I'm going to select on the 5x7 hoop. So here you can see that is how it's going to connect to my embroidery machine. But what if I am creating something that is wider than it is taller? I can go ahead and click on rotate, and now I can work within the hoop in the horizontal view, because whatever I'm going to be working on may be wider than taller. But just know when you go to export the embroidery design, the software knows that design needs to be rotated, so you don't even have to think about it. It'll already rotate it. The only thing you will need to think about is how you're hooping your project, whatever you're going to be stitching it on. You want to make sure that whatever is hooped is in the right orientation. So I'm going to go back to Universal, and I am going to choose this 260 by 260 square hoop, number 5, and say okay. So let's have some fun. We're going to make some luggage tags. So in the Creative 8 software, if you go into our Create tab, and I am using the Windows operating system today, so I just want you to know that. So we do have what's called hoops, project in the hoop. So we have that option there. And to be able to do projects in the hoop, I believe you need to have, I'm I'm looking it up right now as we speak. I believe you need to have, let me look this up here. Yes, Project in the Hoop, you will need to have either Extra or Elite to access Projects in the Hoop. And these can be really fun. I know a lot of us like doing these really quick projects in the Hoop. They make quick gifts. They satisfy that I'm going to come back to my face for a moment here. It satisfies that instant gratification, if you will. So we have all kinds of options to play with. I'm going to go ahead and we are going to do the luggage tags. So name changer, however, I do want to point out that name changer can be found in all 3 levels of the light is hitting my glasses in a funky way. Sorry. You can find name changer in all 3 levels of the software, the subscription software. You will not find name changer in the basic free version of the Creative 8 software. You will find 11 fonts within the basic version of the Creative 8 software, and then 240 plus fonts are included with the paid subscription, all 3 levels, the Essential, Extra, and Elite. So just to put that out there, but let's go back. I'm going to switch up my screen again, and let's go back to our projects here, and here is our luggage tags. So if I click on luggage tags and then go next, sorry, taking a drink of water. We do have some that are pre-made that, already have some design on it. But let's go down to the blank. I'm going to choose the blank rectangle. So this one is going to allow me to make it completely personalized. I'm going to be able to put on it what I want to put on it. You do have here, you do have the view the PDF instructions. All of the instructions are going to look the same because they're all pretty much done in the same way. You will need to be connected to the internet to access these instructions because I print them off. You can save them. You can do whatever you need to do. You have that option. Right up here, you can see where you can save it. You can print it, whatever you need to do. But it just gives you an overview of exactly how these are going to stitch out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close that app and go back to my screen. So since I already chose my rectangle, I'm going to click on Finish. And then it's going to land in my hoop. Sorry, it's taking a little bit of time here. Not quite sure why I'm running so slow today. Okay, so right here you can see that we have some handles, and I'm going to zoom in on this so that you can see that. So you see I have 2 different handles here. Most of the time we're so used to only seeing one. So the green handle is telling me that this is editable, meaning I can resize this if I need to. I could go larger, I could go bigger. The orange is indicating that these are grouped. So right now I have, there's 2 different elements to this particular project, and right now they're grouped together. I'm going to zoom back out. We need to ungroup this. So if I come over here to the film strip, and the film strip again was added to the MySewNet / Creative 8 software. The film strip is not in Premiere software. So let's go ahead and click on this and let's say ungroup. We need to ungroup this because we're going to add some phrases here. And we need it, when we add our phrases, you'll notice it's going to pop down right here underneath this. If we ungroup it, this is going to give us the chance to move move our phrases where we need to move it to, so it's stitching out in the proper order. All right, let's pop over here to our letters tab, and it remembers the font that I used the last time. So here in my fonts area, I can either click on this drop down arrow and I can see all 240 plus fonts that I could choose from. They are categorized. So we have foam, we have fun, and we have modern. So you have all of these different fonts to choose that you could choose from. Or you could go into Font Manager, and Font Manager is going to allow you to find those different categories very quickly. And then when you click on the plus sign in front of it, it's going to show you what fonts are in there. So I'm going to click on traditional, and you can see all of these different traditional fonts are in there, right? I am going to pick, let's choose title. So this font can live between 9 and 40 millimeters. So I'm going to say close since I went ahead and chose it. So now let's go ahead and let's think of some really cool sayings. How about, I mean, there's all kinds. We'll just come up with a few. How about if we start with, let's go with, keep calm, and travel on. Let's see. Let's make sure I'm spelling this right. Calm and travel on. Okay, so we have that there. I think what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and do that because I need to make sure that it is going to fit within this area. So all I did was keep calm, and after my and symbol I touched enter, and that took me to the next line. Okay, I'm going to change this to 12 millimeters. Now you guys know I already did this exercise ahead of time, so I kind of have an idea of what size I need to make this. When you're doing this at home on your own with your own projects, there is going to be some trial and error involved of finding the millimeters that you need. Let's go ahead, and I am going to choose horizontal. So in my shape, I'm just going to choose horizontal. You do have all of these other shapes. You have curves. You have all of those different ones that you can choose from. Click on the drop down, and I have even more, which is super cool. But today, just to keep things simple, I'm going to stay with our horizontal. We're going to leave our trim connection. Where are you, trim connection? I just saw you. Here's our trim connection. We're going to leave this on trim. So what's going to happen here is it's going to it's not going to leave a jump strips. It's going to clip. Let's just go ahead and read it. It will automatically trim the thread between each layer. If we went with jump stitch, it will just go ahead and join your letters with a jump stitch with some tiny stitches, and those stitches may not be that easy to pick out. So let's, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to say trim. Okay, I am going to leave this centered, so I can either left justify, right justify, or center. I'm going to keep it at centered, and then we're going to click apply. And it came in down here, no big deal. So I can either, because of the orientation of our luggage tag here, I do want to rotate this. So I can either rotate it with my handle, okay, or I can click on my home tab, go to my home tab, and up here I have a rotate 40. So if I just click that twice, I automatically clicked, turned that, and now I can just go ahead and center this. I do have my grid turned on, and that is something that's very beneficial. So up here, I'm going to click on view, and over here to the left, I have show grid, and I can change the grid size if I need to. I did leave it at the default of 10 millimeters, but if you want to change that, you can, but I just left it at the default. Let's go back to the home tab. So now that I have my first phrase in there, let's go back to our lettering. And now Font Manager is active. So let's open up Font Manager. And there it is. And you can see the first phrase that I have here. Let's go ahead and create a couple more phrases. How's that sound? Oops, but before I do that, let me go ahead and cancel this. I forgot. Let's move this, our phrase, up a notch so that it is in between our starting and our finishing of the tag. So this is why we ungrouped it. So I do have the opportunity to move that up. Okay, now let's click on Name Changer. And Name Changer is going to come back up. So notice that even though we programmed it in with 2 lines in Name Changer, the 2 lines are now showing as 2 separate luggage tags. If you see that. So boom, boom. So what we need to do in order to use 2 lines on a single luggage tag, we need to use the line delimiter. Had to be careful on how I said that. With a comma, a tab, a space, or whatever you need to do. And if you look down here, you can see the line delimiter. Sorry about that. And I have it chosen as a comma. We can choose a tab, a space, or none. So we're going to go ahead and do comma. And in Name Changer, make sure the comma is set because that's what we're going to do. We're going to use it as we're going to use a comma instead. So where you see it, so right where it has and, because it went on to the next line, right after the and symbol, we are going to add that comma. And now I'm just going to click on here, add our comma. We're going to come here and click right in front of the uppercase T under travel, and on our keyboard, touch the backspace. So now this is going to move it to one single line. So if you look here, it says keep calm and travel on. So now we have our one phrase is now on the same luggage tag. So in order to do that, so if we have larger phrases, let's go ahead and let's, on my keyboard, I'm going to touch enter, and let's do life's a trip. How about that one? Life's a trip. So you can see that that one is fitting on, not a problem there. How about enjoy the journey? Enjoy the journey. That one's not fitting on. So what we want to do is after we want to add that comma. And that helps us separate it. So it knows now that we need to go to a second line. So we have enjoy the journey, and let's do one more. How about when in doubt, vacation. Okay. And I already added the, I'm on pause, hurry up. Now I already added the comma, but I did spell doubt wrong. So let's go ahead and fix that. So D-O-U-T, comma. So there you have it. We have a few different sayings. So I can pass these out to whoever, we can have, I travel with multiple suitcases, so I can have one on each suitcase, right? So now if we come here and we go to export, up here you will choose your file format. I am going to be either using a Husqvarna Viking or a PFAFF, so I'm going to leave that at my VP4. I also have the option that if I'm going to be stitching this out on any other brand of machine, I have all of those options right here as well. But like I said, I'm going to leave that on my Husqvarna Viking / PFAFF. And then if I say, okay, And let's go ahead, and I want to add this to my designs folder. And it remembers I was here already. As you can see, I have, it takes me, it's in my documents, my Sonnet. I know it's still called my Sonnet under our documents, but you'll find my designs in there. And I can title these luggage tags. Okay. And when I click on save, it's going to save all of them to that folder. So if I go in, let's go ahead and search. So if I go to my documents, documents. Ooh, there's a lot to go through. My documents. And then I have my Sonnet. And then I have my designs. And there they all are. So now all I need to do is just send all of these over. I can either put them on a flash drive or send them over to my machine. And then all of these are going to be, all of them, I can just go ahead and stitch them out. And like I said, I might even be able to fit them into, use a larger hoop and go into multiple hoopings. Or not multiple hoopings, put multiple designs in one hoop and get them stitched out and like have my own little, I don't want to say the word, but sweatshop going on in my sewing room. So I hope this little lesson of name changer helped you understand how you can move forward and use it with your own personal projects. You don't have to use it with in the hoop projects. You can just create, a frame and change the name in the frames. You don't have to use phrases. You can use names, you can use initials, you can use numbers. However you need to use this to make it work for you. It's a great time saver. You can see we had some fun with it. So I hope that you go ahead and start using Name Changer on some of your projects. And again, I want to thank you for stopping by and, share your work. Go up and share your work and let's see what you're doing with Name Changer. So until the next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.